Right.
The carnal mind will judge people by good and bad.
Right.
The carnal mind will look at a person's life and judge their life and judge them by the good they determine that they see or the bad they determine that they see. And then they look at them as if that's who they are. Right? And we all feel pressed in by that. You're not defined by having those thoughts. So this isn't what's wrong with me that I had these thoughts. What this is I was pressed in by the carnal mind. And it messed up my way of thinking in that situation. Right? And the verse we like to use all the time, and I quoted this verse, let no corrupt communication come out of your mouth. Mm-hmm. That's not talking about cussing. It's not talking about cuss words. It's talking about don't let anything other than words of grace come out of your mouth. If you keep reading the verse, that's what it says. Let your words be seasoned with grace.
Yes.
So corrupt communication is any words not seasoned with grace. Mm. Okay? It's not talking about cussing. Now, if you just don't like cussing, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that either. But we don't need to judge other people as less than or sinners if they are cussing. Right? Now, we don't have to adopt it and come home to our house and be MF this, MF that, if we don't like it. But we can see there's a treasure in these people, even should they be cussing. And now, like you said, I love what you just said, I couldn't even get to know the person because I had such a block with what they were saying. And so this is what I would say. There's things we could see going on in people's lives, and we could say, I'm not sure that that's life. And we can acknowledge it's not life. But we don't need to reject the person or think there's something wrong with them or I need to remove myself from them, right? I can just realize this person has great value. How do I know? Because God himself came in the person of Jesus and offered his life for them. Now that says something, right? Yeah. God determined that these people were so valuable. The people we think are the vilest of all peoples. Right. And listen, if we're just being honest, in Christianity, we've been taught to think of the unbelievers in a vile way.
Sure.
We've kind of been taught that, right? As if they're the enemy. Mm-hmm. They're not the enemy. And see, Jesus didn't have the carnal mind. So when he interacted with people who were in bondage to sin and death, he didn't judge them. He looked at the fruit in their life and he said, man, that's not eternal life. But I can show them who can give them eternal life and who can save them. He didn't confuse who they were with the fruit he saw manifesting. Mm-hmm. And so he was able to love them even should they have some fruit of death manifesting. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And that's where we want to be. You see, the carnal mind can never look at a human being and see value in them. Because the carnal mind will judge a human being by what they do, by what they have, by what they say, all those different things.
That's a huge statement. The carnal mind can never look at someone and judge that they have value.
Right.
That is huge.
It can't.
Huge statement. Yes.
The carnal mind can't. Even believers who continue in the carnal mind will say, I'm just a wretched sinner.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, even a believer who has called God Abba and has heard Abba call them son, listen, there isn't a son of God that is a wretched sinner. Those two things are opposite.
Yes.
So even the carnal mind, a Christian will define themselves. I'm just a worm. I'm just a no good, worthless. See, that's not the mind of God. When it talks about reconciliation, it talks about an exchange between two things of equal value.
Right.
You can look it up in the Greek. The Greek word for reconciliation speaks of an exchange between two things of equal value. Jesus was the one of the parties in the exchange. Guess who the other party was? Us. So God said, these people who are even in debt and sin, there's so much value in these people that when I look across the universe, the only thing that can match their value is me. So in order to save these people, I got to come myself. And I got to offer my life for them. Right? And see, we confuse value with the fact that we were dead in sin. Yeah. We think the fact that we were dead in sin destroyed our value and worth. It only did in our eyes. It didn't in God's eyes.
Right.
You see, God looked at sinners. It says for God so loved the world. It says that we were the treasure in the field.
Yeah, right.
We are the pearl of great price. Who, when a man saw it, sold everything he had. God sent his only begotten Son. He sent everything he had to purchase the field. Listen, there's nothing you can do to purchase the field. Right? So the treasure in the field, although Jesus is a treasure, the treasure in the field parable isn't talking about Jesus as the treasure in the field. It's talking about us as the treasure as the field. God as the one who saw the field and wanted to purchase the field. The world is the field. The thing he used to purchase the world was Jesus.
Right.
See, the carnal mind struggles to see that every human being is a treasure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.